Entity 15459, or the Meatman, is one of the more interesting entities I've discovered in my investigation. It is a high-caliber, high-level Haunter-type entity first documented by player RexTheT on June 9th, 2013. The footage shown is less than ordinary, even in our line of work. Rex joins his multiplayer survival world he shared with his friend, who for our purposes we will call Rex Omega. Make note of the mob farm in the background of this footage. It will be important later. Rex finds his friend, Omega, inside of their house, unresponsive, digging through their chests. However, as I've discussed previously, a clear giveaway of a mimic entity, as I call them, is the lack of a name or the misspelling of a name, this being an example of the former. This is not Omega. Rex, curious about their friend's obsession, checks within the chests, only to see steak, spelling out a word. Hell. The footage provided ends here. According to Rex, his friend said that he wasn't online that day, and quote, "After that crazy shit I saw yesterday, I'm not coming back," end quote. But what could Omega be referring to? Well, while we don't have footage of his perspective, our next victim gives a pretty good idea of what might have happened. On December 12th, 2015, over 2 years after Rex's video, player Maximum96 LEMMiNO posted footage online from their single-player survival world. Due to various concerns from upper management, I am unfortunately no longer able to directly play audio recorded by any given player featuring their voice. However, I will summarize any spoken statements to the best of my ability. From Maximum, quote, "Just seen some motherfucking wacko bullshit I just got to show you. I'm on my single-player survival world, and here, as you can see, my brand new motherfucking mob whatever the fuck is now made entirely out of a weird-ass-like meat thing," end quote. The blocks in question, that you all may know as flesh blocks, have been more common over the past year. However, this footage seems to be the first video evidence of them documented. However, this is hardly the strangest occurrence in this footage. Maximum, it seems, has more to say. Quote, "Wait, what the f*** is that? Ah, oh my f***ing piece of mother son of a motherfucking bad eater. What the scallop? Is my farm back to normal now?" End quote. You saw right. An entity made changes to a player's world before immediately reverting them. In my research, this is not possible for Class D or Class C entities, given a lack of sapience and intelligent thought to undo damage done, such as the previously covered missing texture group, narrowing down the Meatman to Class B or Class A. This will be important for later, but for now, let's return to Rex and Omega. I believe it's clear now what, quote, "crazy end quote, Omega had seen. He had seen the very same thing as Maximum, the mob farm in the background of Rex's footage, the lack of any evidence of, quote, "crazy end quote. The Meatman is an interesting case. It seems more keen to play with players rather than do anything tangible. However, behavior such as this is consistent only with Class C entities, which as I have established is not possible. No, I see something deeper to the Meatman. But for this, we must go to our final video of the day. January 2nd, 2017, from player Gnosis6, or for our purposes, just Sis. Sis begins their footage describing an event from the night prior. Allegedly, after placing lava on top of various groups of animals, a pop-up covered their entire screen of a strange red entity threatening them. Their statement is less than ideal, if true. Alternate communication methods are beyond all 4 previously mentioned classes. As of the current date, the entities possessing this ability have not been properly categorized. However, as there is no proof given of the Meatman being able to do this in Sis's footage or otherwise, it's currently not possible to categorize the Meatman within this Beyond class. Moving forward, after explaining this, they turn around to show us a seemingly unlit portal made out of flesh blocks. Now, as we all know, entity portals more often than not have the appearance of being unlit while being fully operational. However, to any given player, this is not a possibility they know to even consider. Therefore, while Sis is investigating the site, at this point, Sis stops talking in chat, which makes it difficult to determine any psychological effect the portal may have given. Entity portals are hypothesized to induce anxious behavior, paranoia, and in extreme cases, psychosis. This hypothesis, as I have previously stated, is absurd and unscientific for a computer game to do consistently, and I would highly request a re-examination of any evidence we may think we have regarding this. Sis walks through the dimly lit halls of what I'd call the Eternal Dungeon. One can only think back to the wise words of Maximum to describe a proper response to being transported to a place like this. Note, Sis's very slightly erratic camera movement, shaking ever so slightly, unfortunately coincidentally supporting the previously stated hypothesis regarding entity portals. Sis continues forth, before finally... I believe I have a theory of the Meatman's motivation. Consistent with both of the mob farms and with Sis's burning of mobs, it seems the entity is triggered by large Kafkaesque or otherwise brutal killings of mobs. More field testing is required for a definitive conclusion, and the entity has been shown to avoid postmen, making it difficult to track. Given this footage, I believe it's certain that the Meatman is at the very least a Class A, with a high likelihood of being beyond our class system, with the likes of the Trinity and the Ascendant. I urge any postman still watching to encourage one to allocate all resources to tracking the Meatman. While nothing it has done has been of any consequence, it is far too large of a liability to be outside of our watch. This has been yet another entity catalog. Please report to your immediate superior for further instruction. And remember, cleanse at all costs.